Okay, today I'm going to show you how to use the OREO graphic organizer to write a persuasive essay. You can use this organizer for any argumentative composition, such as the English 2 STAAR EOC, the TSI college entrance exam, or the SAT. We're going to begin by looking at a prompt from a 2014 English 2 STAAR EOC. The prompt is, write an essay stating your position on whether learning always has a positive effect on a person's life. In a previous video located on my CWHS website, I shared how to analyze this prompt and create a thesis statement from brainstorming. We are going to start there. The thesis statement we are going to use is, learning always has a positive effect on a person's life because it can breed success and it leads to life-changing scientific discoveries. So, let's look at our graphic organizer. The first part of the O is your introduction. This is where you have your hook and thesis at the very least. The thesis is your opinion on the topic, hence the O. Since we have our thesis already, we can just copy it over to the thesis section. Now you're wondering about the hook, the very first sentence or two of your essay. You can skip this and come back to it once you've written your essay so that you have a better idea of what you want your reader to see first, how you want to grab your reader's attention, or you can start off with a question or quote that relates to the topic. Personally, I leave the hook to the end, so that is what I'm going to do now. Next up is the reason 1 and example 1. Your first reason and example should match the first part of your thesis statement. Our first part focuses on learning, creating success, specifically in the areas of education and pay. I'm going to go ahead and circle the transition word I want to utilize. For this essay, I'm going to use primarily. Our topic sentence needs to coincide with our idea. So let's say, primarily, education can impact your ability to advance in your chosen career. Then we need an example. The help strategy will help us find a good specific example to make our point. We can choose from either history, famous people, entertainment, literature, or a personal example. For instance, my Uncle Bud began his job as a hospital electrician when he was in his early 20s, and he was making about $20,000 a year. He started taking classes at the local community college, earned an associate's degree, then a bachelor's, and now he's an electrical engineer making $150,000 a year. Learning from both the experience and education was a game changer in terms of income and accomplishments in his occupation. After that, we move on to the second reason and example, which, again, should match our thesis statement. I'm going to use the transition most significantly, and my topic sentence needs to pertain to life-changing scientific discoveries. So, most significantly, knowledge has led to advantageous advances in the medical field. Then we need another help example. We already used a personal example, so let's utilize the history famous people part. To demonstrate, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin almost by accident. He noticed a petri dish left overnight showed that a mold was actively repelling the bacteria around it, and so he kept researching and experimenting until he realized that this mold, penicillin, could be developed into an antibiotic and used to treat viruses and infections. If Fleming hadn't been open to new concepts, he never would have made one of the most important medicinal innovations of our time. Now to our last O, or opinion. This is our conclusion, where we will restate our thesis and make a quick counter-argument. Let's start with the counter-argument, where we will point out to our reader that we have considered the other side of the argument, but our opinion is still the right one. So, even though some may claim that learning can be negative, it is irrefutable that learning experiences are positive influences in many ways. Lastly is our call to action. Remember, the call to action is short, strong, and purposeful. You want to sell your idea to the reader. Also, it is a good idea to add an absolute phrase such as all, none, the whole world. These work well in persuading your audience that your idea is the way to go. For this essay, ultimately, it's not rocket science. Education is beneficial to all. Works perfectly. At this point, if you're like me, you want to circle back to the hook. I now know exactly what my essay is going to say, so now I have a better idea of how I grab my reader's attention. Let's go back up to the first O. We could use figurative language such as this idiom. Some people say that ignorance is bliss. However, it is also dangerous. Or this simile, which ties into our conclusion. Building a rocket is as easy as pie, if you put forth the effort to learn how. Or we could turn the prompt into a universal question. Is learning new concepts beneficial to all? Or a statistic. 92% of people surveyed said that the greatest learning occurs outside of school. Or a quotation such as, Colin Powell once said, "Success is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." I like the idea of tying the introduction and conclusion together, so I'm going to go with, building a rocket is as easy as pie if you put forth the effort to learn how. Now my OREO is complete. This is my rough draft. Before typing or writing the final draft, all I need to do is revise and edit it. But that's a different how-to video.